What is up, world? Welcome to Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show from us, Apocaflix Movies. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and I am joined by some of the regulars, some of the people who keep coming back. Of course, Brian Avellino is in the house. You can see what house he's actually in. And we have, of course, Max Posner, as I said, the guy who keeps coming back, our sixth member here, in a way. And then Gio Ramos over here, claiming to be part of House Slytherin. But we'll see how that goes.
Slither gang.
Claiming he's a true Slytherin.
Yeah, I mean, he claims dark side, he claims Sith, but where's the proof? Where's the proof?
He just threw up double shockers. I feel like that's very Slytherin.
I actually took the Pottermore test, so it's official.
So did I. That's mine.
It's official. No, I mean, if you didn't know already, we are going to discuss a little bit of Harry Potter today, being that it is the character's 40th birthday. I'm guessing. I'm not the expert here.
Yes. So it is in the books. Today is Harry Potter's birthday if you're watching it live.
Okay.
And it would be his 40th birthday today.
Yeah. So we figured we'd talk some Harry Potter stuff. And then we have a fun little game that we're going to play, some more movie pick'em, where we pick a few characters to defend us against some other characters, and they're all pretty deadly. But how's everybody doing? How's everybody's week? It's finally Friday.
You hit the nail on the head right there. It's finally freaking Friday.
Some sports. So yeah.
Yeah, doing good. Happy birthday, Harry Potter. Thank you for killing Snape.
Don't say that. Snape's the best character. How dare you?
It's true. He could have ambushed and taken Voldemort out right then and there, but
No, he couldn't
save
have
that conversation.
No, because Nagini was still alive. There was still a Horcrux alive. You can't kill him unless all of them are gone.
Well, before we get to some more Harry Potter stuff, Brian, do you want to tell them about our podcasts?
Yes. So we are all over on podcasts. I just realized I didn't have the little imagey thingy, but we are all over on iTunes podcasts. We have Anchor, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Breaker, Stitcher. I'm hearing Jake in my head right now when he reads off the ones, but
Google. I think you meant Google when you said YouTube.
yes, Google. But yes, we are all over. So make sure to go and check those out, and especially the ratings, because the ratings help us stay relevant and get all those analytics going. So yeah, make sure you want to do us a solid and throw it in over there.
Awesome. So yes, so let's get back to this Harry Potter discussion now. For me, I am a Harry Potter fan, but I'm a kind of a newish Harry Potter fan. I watched the first 3 movies when I was a kid, and then I rewatched the whole series as an adult, and I'm a huge fan. I'm not going to say it's like in my top 3 favorite franchises, but it's up there. It might be in the top 5, to be honest, but and I really do love it. So I'm excited for this conversation. But I know Brian and I think Max are big Harry Potter fans, right?
Yes. And Rachel, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
similar. Jake.
Unfortunately.
Rachel, Keith, we did this before Keith, or no, we did this after Keith told us he couldn't be on. So he's probably going to see this and go, are you kidding? Like, you guys did this without me. So yes, that's why Keith is not on this. I know we always avoid Keith with Harry
Keith
Potter.
And Brian are have been the Harry Potter representatives here at Apocaflix. But Max, what does your Harry Potter fandom lay? Like, is it your favorite franchise?
Movie wise, probably not, but book wise, definitely top 3 for sure. There's a couple books that are right up there, but yeah, I mean, I grew up with Harry Potter as a child. My dad, the first few books, my dad was the voices for all the characters and read them to me before school every day. So that's kind of how Harry Potter started.
Nice.
So yeah, it has a homely effect on me. And then the movies are really well done. if you're ever just feeling like just sitting down and want like have like a good distraction movie, Harry Potter is like a go-to for me. So I like them both. I'm excited for this conversation as well.
Nice. And Gio, you were saying that you're kind of like me, where you're not a diehard fan, but did you watch all the movies as a kid, like, or as you aged with them, kind of?
Yeah, I did. I was one of the individuals who didn't read the books and just watched the movies. So, during those big plot points and twists and character deaths, I had no idea that those were coming. So, there's a certain kind of appreciation that a person like me can have for those when it's such good storytelling. And then, of course, as I revisit the films, when I think his name was David Yates, who took over from Goblet of Fire on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just how he was able to take control of that, franchise vehicle and give it the on-screen adaptation that it deserves. It's really impressive. So I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan, but I do certainly enjoy the movies for sure.
Yeah, I'm the same. I tried to read the books when I was a kid, but I never finished them. So I didn't know the story or anything, and I think the movies are amazing. No, like when I was a kid, I started reading them. My grandma bought the first one for me, and I just never finished it. But I am audiobook. I
thought I let you borrow the 8th one, thinking you were like all the way through.
I just wanted to continue the story from the movies. But I am gonna. I already have the first audiobook, so I am gonna. Once I have some more time, I'm gonna audiobook all of them because that's my preferred method of consuming books. But so basically, we're gonna have a little part of discussion here. So, what do you guys think the future of Harry Potter is? Do you think it lies in this Fantastic Beasts franchise? Do you think it lies in a continuation of the Harry Potter franchise or something else, whether it's film or television? Let's go with you, Brian.
Well, I mean, we know supposedly that there's going to be 5 Fantastic Beasts movies. We're waiting for 3. J.K. Rowling needs to put her foot in her mouth before her fans stop liking her stuff because of the things she says. So I don't know how. I mean, stretching that what they're trying to do out for 5 movies is a lot. They clearly, to be honest, I think they went into Fantastic Beasts thinking they were going to do one thing and then came out doing something else, because the story has clearly evolved into the Dumbledore versus Grindelwald story that we know from the Harry Potter books. That's clearly taking more precedence over the whole Fantastic Beasts. I'll see it out. Like, I'm never going to turn down probably a Harry Potter movie, but I really, really, really love the Cursed Child book. I won't spoil it for anyone that hasn't read it, but it is really good. And it's not even written in a book style. It's obviously a play, and the book is written like a play. It literally says, like, Ron, his text. Hermione, his text.
It's literally a playwright, yeah.
Yes. So it takes like a day and a half to blow through it, even if you're a slow reader. But the story is freaking phenomenal. To be honest, one of the best stories, I think, in that whole universe. So if they go into that, I'm all for it. I'm all for that story.
What's it about?
It's about Harry Potter's son, and basically his first year at Hogwarts and some other hoopla goes around with it. I'm trying to stay away from certain things, but honestly, even if you haven't read the books and have just watched the movies, it's a book that you could grab and still be completely fine and understanding. So like Jacob, if you weren't, or Gio, if you weren't going to listen to the books or read the books, and that's something you would be interested, you can pick that up and still completely know exactly what's going on. And there are twists and turns in that book. Like none of the Harry Potter movies or books kind of really had like a shocking twists and reveals or whatever. That book does. So it's really good. So that's where I would like to see it go. I would like to see that movie, at least a 2-part, because the play is in 2 parts. Knowing them, they would milk that thing for 3. So, but yeah, I definitely want to see that. Let the actors age a little bit. Bring them back a little bit older. Oh, yeah. Grab some kids that could play their children, and that movie would explode.
I'm surprised to hear you say you like Cursed Child so much. I've heard mixed things about it. I heard some Harry Potter fans are like hate it.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, there is a certain aspect that I could see people hating, but for me, it's rare that I can only name a few things off the top of my head where I literally just did not stop reading until I finished. That was one of them. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So, Max, do you agree with Brian? Do you want to see a continuation of the Harry Potter franchise or Fantastic Beasts or something else?
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page as Brian. I kind of there were rumors when the books ended and when the films were kind of coming to an end that it was going to come, that the continuation was going to come right then. And I was totally on board then, and a lot of time passed. And I'm not so much on board now about starting up a new thing, and I actually haven't even watched the Fantastic Beasts movies.
None of them?
No, because I really like the Harry Potter story. But I haven't read The Cursed Child either. So what Brian is saying, I'm very intrigued by that, and I could see that continuing, like about his son and still in his world, but not entirely focused on him. That would be really interesting to me. But I don't really need to go fully into like the wizarding world and do something different. So I'm on board with Brian pretty wholeheartedly there.
So Gio, the best way to I thought of a way to talk about it. It's his son, his first year at Hogwarts, living under the shadow of Harry Potter is your dad, and him making his own name in the world. Rachel, I would love to know why, because I've
heard most fans don't like it.
It's funny because for someone that likes Harry Potter, I don't have a lot of Harry Potter friends that, like, outside of probably Keith, that are like, pick it up, read it, blah blah blah. So I'm actually curious, Rachel. Tell me why, because I'm curious the reason why.
Interesting. So Gio, looking from the outside in, kind of like me, what if you had to choose like where you'd like the franchise to go? What would you say?
100% streaming. 100%. I think
like a show.
Like definitely do that. Yeah. I don't like the term show. I want to call it a high budget limited series for sure.
So you want you want like a Watchmen type thing where it's like 10 done.
Well, yeah, because there's so much more that you can expand on in the Harry Potter universe besides movies. Like I think that there warrants, the mythology warrants some sort of storytelling on streaming where media and entertainment is going to. Lord of the Rings is going on Amazon Prime, with that high budget series. And I think probably sometime in the next couple of years, you'll get an announcement that there'll be a Harry Potter limited series. Maybe not the characters that we're used to knowing, or that we know already. But I definitely see them doing that. I think it'd be perfect on HBO Max, honestly, because Warner Brothers did the Harry Potter movies. And Brian, you kind of answered my question in regards to where the Fantastic Beasts movies, have gone since the first one. I did watch the first one. I almost skipped it because I was pissed off at Eddie Redmayne for stealing the Oscar from Michael Keaton. But I watched it, and wow, was I blown away. Like, there was surprisingly a lot of emotion in that story. And Colin Farrell was fantastic in the movie.
He's the best part of the movie, and an absolute shame. I won't spill it, Max. An absolute shame he didn't get to be more into this franchise.
I mean, you
without
kind of
spoiling it. Isn't he still around though?
It's who?
Isn't his character still around?
Mm-mm.
For sure not. They confirmed that.
All right.
He wasn't the second one. What?
Well, you spoiled it. He's gone.
No, I didn't.
Not really.
Really?
yeah, no, he did.
First of all,
No.
He did. You did.
Don't say
you
anymore.
watch
I
them.
listened to
You
Hank.
should have watched them by now.
Yeah, I mean they have been out.
I don't care. It's just funny. You said
No, knowing what happens, I don't think we spoiled. Like we lightly spoiled something, but not the whole
Yeah,
thing. Trust me,
it's-
we didn't
I
spoil
mean,
the whole thing.
You could literally just
But no,
look at
I agree. Like Colin Farrell's the best part of both of those movies. Like if you said what's the best thing from the whole Fantastic Beasts franchise, was Colin Farrell in the first one. But I actually, Dio, you were continuing about the series thing, right? Or were you done?
Well, I was just gonna say, I think Brian confirmed my concerns because I haven't seen the second one yet. But based off the trailers, it looked like it was shying away from the Fantastic Beasts, and more towards Dumbledore versus Grindelwald, which honestly is probably what they should have. They should have did the Fantastic Beasts like a one-off, because
you literally hit it right on the
right. Yeah, I mean, Eddie Redmayne's great, but people want to see Johnny Depp versus who plays Dumbledore?
Jude Law.
Jude Law. I love Jude Law.
He was fantastic.
Yes.
That itself should be like its own, maybe 2 movies in a different branch, because poor Eddie Redmayne was going to have a damn franchise, and he's still a part of it. He's still a prominent role, and I'm only guessing what the second and third, fourth, fifth movies will be about. But you put those 2 in there, it's just like, whoa, like, especially for their characters. So that's all I'm going to say.
What they did was they tried to take one of her other little mini books and make that a franchise. Problem is, they tried to tell us 2 stories in one franchise, which was the Dumbledore versus Grindelwald, and then her Fantastic Beasts story. You said it perfectly. Fantastic Beasts should have been a one-off, just like the book was, just a little bit of a one-off, or tell the story of this guy, Newt Scamander, and his travels with the animals. That's it. Show us magical creatures and Fantastic Beasts. If you would have marketed this as the Dumbledore versus Grindelwald war, that's a whole different monster. But you had people going into Fantastic Beasts thinking it was going to be about exactly what it sounds like, Fantastic Beasts and all this stuff like this, and then it turns out it's a subplot for this Dumbledore versus Grindelwald war. Sorry,
they're in it now, so they got to find a way to, with 3 more movies, reportedly, right, until the Fantastic Beasts 5. Like, I don't know. They better handle this franchise carefully. You don't want, and this is just my opinion, you don't want, what the Lucasfilm did with the Star Wars, sequel trilogy, where it was a whole bunch of mess and different visions and this and that. Like, you don't want that for this franchise. So, I don't know.
Sorry, Jacob. It's your turn.
I mean, I I think, I mean, hearing it now, and I don't really recall Keith and Jake's thoughts on those movies, but I might like them more than any of us. I really liked the first one. You know, I could have done without a few of the weird scenes that with Eddie Redmayne, like what was he trying to do? He was trying to like do the mating call with one of the with the rhino type one. I was like, okay, that's a little bit too goofy for me. But the ending of Fantastic Beasts, the first one, I thought like the last 30 minutes were really good. It was really fun to watch. And I just love this world. This world is amazing. Oh. I like Jude Law as Dumbledore. So I could see them like, who knows? What if the third one comes out and we're like, damn, we did not expect that. That was great. And then we're feeling good about the next couple ones. But I feel like they should have just done a trilogy. Why 5? I would feel a lot better if I knew this third one was the last one. And if, let's say, the third one was great, we're like, okay, the whole trilogy wasn't good or great, but it was finished strong. So I don't see how they drag it out for 5 movies. But we did a what sequels do we want to see episode, and I chose a 9th Harry Potter film. So I absolutely want to see that. They could just bring the main cast straight back right into it. Boom, go. If they, I mean, the only one who I don't know if she would do it is Emma Watson, but I think they could pay her enough money to do it.
If it was done correctly.
Yeah. But I agree with Gio, actually. I think streaming is the way to go. Yeah. And I think you can do both. Look, Star Wars, we're going to get movies and series. MCU, we're going to get movies and series. I'm sure in DC, we're going to get movies and series as well. So I think this is the way to go. I would love because one thing that fascinates me about this world is when I was a kid, I thought only what's the freaking school called?
Hogwarts.
I thought Hogwarts was the only school when I was
a kid. You sound like a Gryffindor.
And then when they do, I think it's in Goblet of Fire, where all the other schools come, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's this whole other world that you could explore. And I think being on a campus with the classes and the sports and all the drama that can happen, that's perfect for a television show. Yeah. And if you do like a new characters in a different school somewhere else in the world, it's still in the Harry Potter canon, but it's not directly connected to Harry Potter, Dumbledore, any of this stuff going on. It's just its own thing in this world with magic and these creatures and spells and wands and what's the sport called? I mean, I'm off my game today.
God, you are off. Yeah, get out.
Hey, I said I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan, but the Quidditch, I want to see some more Quidditch on screen. So I think a limited series, a mini series, a Game of Thrones budget series would do amazing. People love Harry Potter. It's one of the most beloved franchises of all time. So I think that could do a lot better, and they'll have more room to tell the stories. So that's what I would want to see.
Yeah. Let me drop some stuff that Rachel and Anthony have been saying. Rachel saying, I want a TV series centered on other characters. Kingsley Shacklebolt, for example, where he goes from protecting the Muggle Prime Minister to being Minister of Magic. Yeah, again, it's so rich in characters. Anthony dropped, like I said in your previous stream, do a prequel series following Harry Potter's parents and the parents of the kids from the war that happened in the current series when they were in school.
I like that idea.
That's another fantastic idea.
Have Adam Driver play a young Snape.
Oh.
Okay, I see you there. That's a pretty good one.
You would be a great wizard.
Yeah, I'd be pretty good.
It would be I could totally see him with the wand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anthony again, or do a limited series based off what caused Death Eaters to follow either Grindelwald or Voldemort. That'd be dope. That would be pretty cool. Got another one. I agree. The two tones do not mesh at all. This was Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts. Fantastic Beasts casting did not help either. I cannot buy Depp as Dumbledore's close friend and crush. I agree. That was one of the things that many people had.
Wait a minute, what?
So you do know Dumbledore is a gay character, right?
Well, no, I know that, but
so
Depp, like Johnny Depp, like
Yes, Johnny
Well-
Depp is Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in the books, Dumbledore fell in love with his best friend who was Grindelwald, and
they heavily imply it in the movie too.
Yeah. so
Oh, they were best friends?
yeah.
Well, and they were romantically involved.
It's a whole thing in the books, and that's what they're trying to tell the story in Fantastic Beasts with another title at the same time. And then Anthony, again, it would make sense to do a limited series based off or go more in depth on what causes Death Eaters to join Voldemort and Grindelwald. Oh wait, I just read that one. Sorry, my bad. Rachel saying a series on Death Eaters would be great. Social commentary does not have to be geared towards kids. That is true. Harry Potter, that's the gray line, I feel like, with this franchise. Star Wars, you can throw kids into it, but it's a little bit more towards adult. This is kids, but loved by the adults. So you kind of have to walk a line.
That's why streaming is so, it's so attractive, because it's like you can go and be, darker and a little bit more violent and graphic, whereas the movies are always going to stay kid friendly, PG-13, because it's all about billions of dollars, making that billion, joining that billion club. So that's why streaming is like, thank God for it, So.
Yeah. And then Anthony, I might hold off on yours just because I don't want to. Oh no, it's if you read the books. The reason why he didn't end up with Grindelwald because he killed his sister Ariana. If you read the Harry Potter books, you know that. And then Rachel, of course. We kids are now adults, right? Yeah.
Are we?
I mean, we're the generation that grew up with it. Probably the ones that are going to put the most money into it. So you could kind of probably get away with that aspect.
I will say I used to play the Harry Potter video games on, I think it was PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, and they were so much fun.
I was playing a couple weeks ago the Lego ones. The Lego ones are even fun.
Yeah.
Bro, they need a next gen Harry Potter game. Like on
I agree.
PlayStation 5 or some like
they are. It's they're creating a role-playing Harry Potter one, like an open world.
Wow.
Nice.
That's amazing.
What did you say, Max?
I'm not even sure.
About the video games?
Oh, they had an all Quidditch video game too.
They did. Well, even in the regular game, you could play Quidditch too.
It was EA Sports. It was amazing.
What?
Yeah.
How did I know?
I think I remember that. Yeah. I think
mean,
I rented that before.
If
Back
they
when
did a Quidditch series,
when
that'd kind of be dope
Blockbuster
too. I'd be down for like a story, how we've been talking about. They should do a pod racer series for Star Wars.
That's what I was saying. If they did like a high school drama type show, and then it's like set in the background of Quidditch, it'd be pretty cool.
I think that's how you should do it if you want to bring Quidditch in.
I mean, that'd be pretty dope.
I like the pod racing idea. Get Justin Lin to direct. Bro, imagine Dominic Toretto behind a pod racer.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Awesome. All right, real quick before I move on, favorite Harry Potter movie, Brian, go.
The very last one.
Movie, not
Yes.
book. Okay.
Movie.
You know what? No, I'm changing. The very first one. I love that one. I love it.
It's underrated. It's underrated. Max?
I'm going last one if we're talking movies.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay.
We're talking
Gio?
the fourth one though.
I'm going to go the last one, but the best fight scene is in Order of the Phoenix.
The very ending.
Well, it starts with Gary Oldman showing up, and then Dumbledore versus
So my favorite one, and it's not a lot of people's favorite, it's Goblet of Fire.
Are you kidding me? That one's fantastic.
I love Goblet of Fire, not just because it has my boy Rob Patton in it, and he's Cedric Diggory. I freaking love that character, and what happens at the end is absolutely incredible. The ending of that movie is scary for kids and absolutely incredible. So Goblet of Fire is mine.
I will say that's the best book in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 4th is the best book.
Yep.
Does the same thing happen in the book?
I mean, there's everything
at the ending for the most part.
Yeah, it's all the same. There's just probably more stuff that isn't told.
You guys know that moment in the movie when Harry comes back and then they start cheering and then they realize, dude, that moment is amazing.
I to this day sometimes can't watch where his dad is screaming, "That's my son!" Like that crushes me every time.
Good. That's our future Batman there. Awesome. Well,
nice
Gio,
play.
do you want to tell some of the viewers how they can interact with us more?
Yeah, speaking of plugs, guys, whether you're watching live or on a replay, please do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button. YouTube likes are the key component to us getting our videos seen more and our channel seen more. So that way more people can join the chat with you guys, Anthony, Rachel. While doing that, if you like this video, we'd love for you guys to come around and see our channel, click subscribe. And, we will appreciate that very much. We can't thank everyone enough for their support and, all the love that they have shown us. You guys are just awesome. And we thank you for being a part of our shows, expanding the conversation, debates, doing your best to trigger me. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Doing our best to trigger you. Get out of here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Gio. And let's move on to our little game we're going to play here. And it's another movie character pick'em. And this is going to be a fun one. And it's not just movie characters. It's actually television characters as well, which I'm very grateful for. So basically the idea is we each get to pick 3 characters to defend us while against the rest of them who are trying to come kill us. And we have to kind of explain why. And this is going to be interesting because it's easy to pick which 3 you want, right? But then you got to think about the rest of them are trying to come kill you. So it's not going to be easy for your 3 to pick. So Brian, I want to start with you. Let's go with yours first, man.
I was thinking, should we go one at a time, or are we just going all 3 pick it now?
Just all 3 pick it now, just because I feel like then they can get a better idea of what your scenario is going to look like.
Okay. So like we said right here's our choices. My first choice is going to be John Wick because the guy just cannot seem to die. So, why not pick that guy? My second choice is going to be Jason Bourne, which is funny because I have not seen those movies, but from what everyone says, he is a badass, and I've seen very many of the commercials, and he seems like another one that I should just literally have protecting me at all times. And then my very last choice, which is funny because it is another movie that I have not seen, but I'm going to go with Rambo. Rambo is just terrifying from what Jake has told me. A certain part from the last movie. So, I'm going to go with those 3 because each has a certain set of skills that I think will be able to take down the other people there.
Nice. This is a tough one.
Gio over here smirking like my guys are going to protect
this
me.
Is a tough one because no matter what, you're at a disadvantage. Like, it's going to be hard to defend against the rest of the people in there. All right, Max, let's go with yours, man.
Okay, so I'm honestly kind of similar to Brian. I actually have 2 out of 3 that Brian has, unfortunately. But I have sort of different reasons here. John Wick, has taken on entire armies of people trained to only take him out. Like all they're doing is trying to take him out, and he defeats them every time. And he does it with ballpoint pens, horses, guns. Like he's just point blank the best person with a handgun. Which brings me to my honorable mention. I wanted to bring Jack Bauer in here.
Yes.
Jack Bauer is kind of undefeated with a pistol, but John Wick's more versatile, so I'm going to go with John Wick.
Okay.
Then I'm also choosing Rambo because as he didn't go fully into it. Rambo also has taken on full armies on his own. Kind of goes into it entirely on his own and just destroys you. He's more my muscle. I grappled with Luke Hobbs and wanting him as my muscle, but I'm going with Rambo just because he takes on entire armies. And then finally, I'm going with the Bride. I'm going with
Nice.
Ooh.
because yet again takes on full armies on her own. She killed that entire army in the first one of ninjas, trained assassins, and she's excellent with a blade. So I'm thinking kind of she's going to take out some of the people that I'm most worried about, that have like kind of funky skill sets. So the Mountain is kind of a mountain of sorts. I'm worried about him, but speed destroys the Mountain. We watched him get taken out by who's the really fast prince in Game of Thrones?
Prince Oberlin.
Yeah. So obviously we know his fate, but he destroyed the Mountain in that fight with speed. And as long as I tell Beatrix Kiddo, like, hey, just stay your distance and use your sword, I think Mountain's going out. And I also am kind of worried about Dexter just like kind of quietly coming in with a needle, but all he has is the needle. So she just cuts his hand off and we're good there. So that's my three.
Just cuts his hand off.
Wick's going to be able to take out any of the people that are gun savvy like Bauer and Brian Mills. And I think Rambo is just dead fast enough and just like so hardcore that he can take on the big guys, and the Bride's going to slice and dice the rest. And I think that's my team.
See,
I like that.
I have naivete to the Bride. I've not seen the Kill Bill movies, so I don't know.
Any of these movies, Brian? That's three.
I know.
Let's see. Yeah.
I bet you haven't seen 24, have you?
No, I have seen 24. So actually, to be honest, the only ones I haven't seen was Bourne, Rambo, and Wanted.
So you've seen thankfully you've seen
Kill Bill.
Okay.
What'd you say?
You've seen Die Hard?
Oh yeah, love Die Hard.
Good.
I think Jake's right. I think we're gonna have to just challenge Brian for like 10 weeks straight for the
He's got a lot of work to do.
yeah, just to get him caught up. All right, Gio, come on, man. Pitch me your scenario and why you're picking your three characters.
All right, put that graphic back up.
All right, I got you.
Initially, the first person my eyes went to was Brian Mills. However, Brian Mills is at his best when you're taken or kidnapped. So an argument could be made. He'll only be effective after the fact. So I won't go there. Okay, like I love Sprite, but no, thank you. The Mountain would be a great bouncer, but everyone else on the list is going after him. So I don't trust him. My first pick is obviously John Wick. John Wick is a badass. All right, like he could be like my last line of defense, and he'll wipe out everyone. Put the graphic back up. Thank you. Okay. My next choice, surprisingly, would be Angelina Jolie from Wanted, Fox. All right. We got some great shooters in here. We got, Jason Bourne, a shooter. We got John Wick, a shooter. None of them can curve bullets, though. So that matters to me. I if somebody's around the corner, I want her to just, bam, man, take you out, whether you're going for cover or whatever. Plus, if my other defenders decide to turn on me and let's say we're at a team meeting, she can do what she did at the end and just kill everyone except me, including herself. And so that's like a safety button, very Batman-esque. Put it up again one more time. Luke Hobbs, I'm a big fan of, but his partner in Fast 6 was bad, and he didn't even know it. The Bride is cool, but she couldn't even sense that she was set up for an ambush. So I'm gonna have to go with John McClane. John McClane as my you know why? Because they're not going to, there's going to be some downtime, and I want somebody I can chill with. I don't know if I can chill with John Rambo. He's so on edge the whole time, and so John McClane can make it happen with next to nothing. Whether he has shoes or he's barefoot, whatever, he'll find a way. And so those are my 3. God help me.
I like it.
Yeah, I still don't like any of our odds. Because what do you have? You have 7 of them coming after you. And are they working together, or are they just each working separately?
That's the question.
Yeah. So we'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
So look, I think we all chose John Wick because he is just the most, out of all of them, I feel the most comfortable with him on. I don't want him coming after me.
No. You don't want John Wick on your bad side.
Look, and like Max said, he literally takes on a whole hundreds of characters in one movie. John Wick Chapter 3 is just, I was so in awe of that movie. My jaw was on the floor because he just kept overcoming these crazy odds. And I was like, oh my goodness, this might be the most badass non-super powered character in film history. It might be. So I think John Wick is damn near invincible as a mortal. It's crazy.
He does have one less finger though now.
That's true, but we'll see. He's gonna kick some butt in the 4th one, so we'll see what he can do. I don't see how they're ever gonna bring that franchise to an end. Just keep it going.
Movies.
And look, I'm weighing my 3 characters against the rest of the field, right? So if I'm not gonna choose the Mountain, I need somebody, and speed could be a weakness for the Mountain. But I think maybe you want to fight the Mountain with brute force. And so I need somebody who could maybe hold his own against the Mountain. And I'm going to go with Luke Hobbs. He's a monster. Some of the stuff he was doing in Hobbs and Shaw, I think he was holding a helicopter, or what was he doing with the chain?
He grabbed a chain and held on to it.
From the helicopter to the truck.
Captain America.
Yeah, he's yeah, exactly. But without any superpowers. And I'm thinking about it. And look, I feel comfortable with John Wick up against any of these characters one-on-one. I think he'd have a hard time with the Mountain, but he'd probably get him eventually. But I would like Hobbs to keep the Mountain busy. And he'd probably lose to the Mountain in the end. But I want him to keep the Mountain busy while John Wick and Dexter Morgan protect me. So Dexter Morgan is my 3rd pick. I requested Dexter Morgan to be on this because we were kind of trying to figure out which characters. And look, if you haven't seen Dexter, you might be, why would you want a serial killer to protect you? But there's in season 7, I'm not going to spoil anything for people who haven't seen it. In season 7, he has an adversary who he has to go up against. And look, also Dexter Morgan is trained in advanced Taekwondo. He had to do all this stuff. His adopted father was a cop who trained him since he was a young boy on all these type of different things. And he took advanced Taekwondo as he grew up. So he gets in multiple fights with multiple different characters, big, huge, strong characters, other trained fighters, and he always wins. He wins those fights. So there's that. Also, in season 7, because he does his own thing. He kills other killers because he has a need to. But in season 7, somebody blackmails him and threatens somebody else that he loves and says, look, I'm in danger. I need you to kill these 2 guys for me, or else I'm going to do this. So basically, unwillingly, he becomes an assassin. And I was like, this is dope. This is pretty cool. And he takes out like these 2 badass assassins separately. And I'm like, damn, that was pretty cool. So he's not just a serial killer. Like, they could employ him to be a super spy. No joke. I'm not even exaggerating. And he could handle his own. So being that he knows all this stuff and he's so smart and he could work the system and he could find ways to go pick off each one of these characters individually while I just chill. So I'm going to send Dexter out to pick all them off individually while I chill with John Wick and Hobbs just guarding me. So those are my 3 picks: Luke, Hobbs, John Wick, and Dexter Morgan.
You look like a guy who'd pick Dexter. Put that graphic back up, Brian. Put the graphic back up real quick. Hold on. Put the graphic back up for me, please. Jacob, I have a question. I've not seen Dexter. Is Dexter going to take out Jason Bourne?
Possibly.
No.
I've seen Dexter and I haven't seen Jason Bourne, and I'm going to say that's yeah.
I don't know.
You haven't watched the whole series, Brian.
I don't know. I don't know.
If Dexter's taking out someone, he's probably taking out Brian Mills, maybe Maximus.
If he comes up against the Bride, you really think he's going to be able to stop a sword? Because
Probably not. But he has his own ways. He has his own ways.
I mean, he does have a syringe, so
cut his hand off and so.
I don't know, man.
I expect
trust me. I have my it's hard to argue. You can't look. I'm not going to argue against somebody where I haven't seen the movie or I haven't seen the show. So, I'm not going to argue against Jack Bauer. I don't know. He could be the most capable person in the world, but I don't know. So I'm not going to argue against it. So I don't feel like you could argue against Dexter Morgan unless you've seen
all of Dexter.
Yeah. So I respect your opinion on that, Max. Like, if you really don't think he can, because he is a trained fighter and he went up against like dudes like Hobbs' size, and it wasn't easy, but he wins those fights. He
didn't go up against a Hobbs though. Maybe their size, but not an actual like.
I have a hard time thinking Dexter's going to take on Rambo.
Yeah, like he's
the amount of weapons Rambo has alone just to take out.
So one of your points, and I'm not trying to come right at you because there's validity to all of this. Like, all of these people have immensely good skills, but one of the points you were making is that he kind of became an assassin. Part of Dexter, though, was that he really struggled with being on the offensive. His whole thing was, only if I'm sure they are a horrible murderous person. And when he did have to go on that assassin's route, he didn't do so well. I mean, he did it, but he
didn't want to.
No, and he struggled with that. And if you now round 2 are asking him to do that, if we're staying super on the route, you could have that issue where he's like, I don't know if I can do this.
True, but what we're saying, for some reason, all 3 of our choices are motivated to protect us for some reason.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever, I can make that argument against every character.
You're right.
But look, the thing is, you could match up all these characters against, and they're all going to have weaknesses and strengths against each other. But I just feel comfortable with it, and like I said, he is trained in fighting and all that stuff. So, and he doesn't just use a syringe; he uses other weapons as well.
I know, but he doesn't use those weapons before the syringe. Like, the syringe is when he uses those weapons. Like, he knocks them out.
Yeah, true. I don't know, because what he's gonna do is he's gonna find them and approach them like all casually, like, and they're not gonna know who he is, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, hey, like, do you want a cup of coffee?" And then stick the syringe in their neck, and then so that's kind of how he does it. And every time I'm like, oh, this person better watch out. They're gonna get a syringe, and then he gets them. I'm like, nobody sees it coming. But there's a lot. I mean, yeah, we could make arguments for all these characters, I think.
Moral
So
of the story is-
Rachel's taking the whole army by herself.
yeah, and John Wick's gonna
Go
say
for
that all anyway, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah,
Let's-
exactly.
Let's see. Rachel said, I'd have trust issues with most of them. On that basis alone, I'll take McLean, Hobbs, and Maximus.
That's a good point. I don't trust the Mountain.
Yeah,
We die spectacularly.
I would.
although Cersei never really got touched, so
True.
as she was, she never really got touched.
Oh no, she got touched, but she didn't get touched. So
Okay.
I don't really know the Jack Bauer character. I would. I mean, the thing is with John McClane, and people say this all the time. He's just a cop who got in that situation, and there was nothing special about his skill set. He was lucky, and he's a brawler. But he was just a regular cop who got in that situation.
Let's see. Anthony said, here's my private security team to protect me from assassination. John, you have too many people. John Wick, Jason Bourne, Jack Bauer, Brian Mills, and head of security. That's half the people. You only get to pick 3.
He chose 5 of them.
Two of them are turning on you and coming after you. Who's the 2 that turn? I mean, John Wick. Oh, here you go. Oliver Queen. Just have someone just posted.
That's a good
Snake.
one. I wanted Sarah Lance included in this. She's a badass.
Yeah, I saw you guys talking about that one. That was a pretty good one. But once I saw your suggestion for Dexter, I knew that was going in.
Oh yeah, I wanted that in, and part of the reason is, like you said, Max, I don't necessarily want Dexter coming after me. To be honest. Like he's the one.
Like I'd assign certain people to pay attention for this and that.
Exactly.
He's one of
Yeah, I will agree with you.
Gonna come straight at you, so you'd be like, "All right, John Wick, there he is." Dexter's gonna come from behind you, and you're not gonna see it.
I'm gonna go for. I would say we go for Dexter. Like he's one of the ones we got to get Dexter before he gets us.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dexter's the one.
I get it. He's tricky.
Yeah, Dexter's the one you want to go to bed knowing is already dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't want to go to bed knowing that character's still out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's a chance because that guy needs to be gone by the time you hit the hay. So, should we go through them one last time and then we'll head on out?
Yeah, sure.
So
rename yours, Brian.
So my choices again were John Wick, Jason Bourne, and John Rambo. All J names.
Max.
Oh, Max.
I had John Wick, The Bride, and also John Rambo.
Go ahead, Gio.
I also had John Wick. Man, he's a busy guy. Fox and John McClane.
Yeah, good thing this wasn't a fantasy draft. I mean, we would have had more people, but John Wick would have been picked first, I guess.
100%.
As we discussed for the past 20 minutes, I have Dexter Morgan, I have John Wick, and I have Luke Hobbs because I need a little bit of brute force there.
A little bit of muscle. All right, Anthony narrowed his down.
Okay.
John Wick, Jason Bourne, Jack Bauer. Oh, that's pretty solid. That's solid. That's
Nice.
Two pistols of John Wick and Jack Bauer are going to be almost unbeatable.
I've never watched 24. Is Jack Bauer, is he just good with the gun, or is he good at hand-to-hand combat, or what?
I mean, he's really good at hand-to-hand combat. He saves the world, but it's almost comedic. Like 7 machine guns, 20 machine guns around, and he'll have one 6-shot pistol, and it's like he wins.
It's Kiefer Sutherland, man. What can you say?
Yeah,
that's 100%.
Yeah, so him and Wick would be a good tandem there. I mean, they'd be good going at each other too. But Wick would win.
Probably.
I can't doubt.
Wick. I'm still saying Wick.
I can't doubt John Wick. Like, think about this. You have in the Avengers, right? You have Black Widow and Hawkeye, right? You're telling me he's not as capable, if not more capable than both of them. So John Wick could be an Avenger. That's my point.
Yeah,
He really could.
I'm with that.
That'd be dope. I saw there were like memes of him coming out in the Endgame battle, and then Thanos is like, "Oh shit!"
I will say,
hilarious.
If I forgot her actual name, if Atomic Blonde was in here, might be a different story.
I was throwing, yeah.
So
I was thinking about her. I was honestly going to say her over Fox, but Fox is really talented as well.
I mean, Geo did make a point. She does curve bullets, so that
Curves bullets, man.
And she's good hand to hand. She deals with all of it.
Yeah, I mean, and if the bride, if you look at John Wick, he takes out a lot of people with his gun and with his hand-to-hand combat, but the bride takes on like just as many people with her sword.
Yeah, with swords and like
it's kind of like the same thing, like hundreds of people, because that's how it feels. Certain points, like John Wick feels like a video game, right, where he keeps taking on more people and going up to different levels. Certain moments of Kill Bill, that's how the bride is, like just taking on more and more armies, more powerful people, one-on-one matches, things like that. So I thought about her instead of Hobbs, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit since
in Volume 1, she takes on the Crazy Eights, and then she takes on Go-Go, and then she takes on the Lucy Liu. So yeah, you're spot on with that.
I need to rewatch those movies for sure. I also need to rewatch Gladiator. Honestly, it's been a long time.
Very long time for me.
Long time. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Apocaflix Now. We talked some Harry Potter. We played this little character.
Random opposite topics.
No, I know, right?
Assassin's trying to kill you.
Hey, but no, I liked our Harry Potter discussion. That was actually really fun because I do think the franchise needs to figure out where it's going.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really does. All right. Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Gio. That was a fun episode. Again, I am your host, Jacob Bartley. This is Apocaflix Now on the Apocaflix Movies YouTube channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, check out our podcasts. We love interacting with you guys. Thanks again, and we will see you this upcoming Tuesday.